Hey, how are you? Welcome back, or maybe it's me that should welcome myself back. Just gone through hip replacement, recovering from that about 3 weeks out. Walking without a walker, without a cane. I'm doing pretty good. So that's pretty cool. And take a peek. Court TV just started early May. A good friend of mine's working there now. You guys in the Bay Area may remember Ted Rollins. He was an anchor on Channel 2 KTVU. He was a reporter. He went to CNN, worked there, hosted Larry King a bunch of times. Real good reporter. Now he's working for Court TV. In fact, he's in San Diego working on a case. Catch this. I'm not going to get too deep into it. But a guy named Winslow, he was one of the San Diego Charger football players. Great tight end. His dad was there. His dad was all-pro. He, the kid who played for the Chargers, has been charged with rape. I think 5 counts of rape. But he's just not raping anybody. He's raping 75 and 80-year-old women, octogenarians. Remember, this kid's a stud at 35. He's potso. There's something wrong with him, but they're trying him down there on those 5 felonies. Going to be interesting. All right, let's get through the ghost ship here in Oakland, Alameda, California. Interesting. I've been dropping in and out of that trial, watching it. I think both the government and the defense are doing a good job. 9 women, 3 men are on the jury. The DA's putting a lot of evidence in that's very emotional at the end of the trial. The jury will be instructed. You are not to consider passion, prejudice, sympathy. You are simply to be a trier of fact that looks at the evidence. You know, hard to do when they're putting people up there that are actually injured in the fire, and you've got the family of a lot of the victims in the audience. Everybody's crying in the courtroom. Going to be tough. Are we going to be a society, or is this going to be a jury that needs to hold someone responsible? One of the things that I find really interesting, if you remember a month or two ago, this case went out for negotiations, meaning they tried to settle it before trial. And they went in front of a judge who negotiated a disposition. For Almena, 9 years. For Harris, I think it was 3 years in state prison. That means they're going to plead to it. They're going to admit it, either nolo contendere, no contest, or guilty. And then they're going to take their punishment. I got to think some jurors got to know that. So is that going to affect them? Even though they will be instructed by the judge that it shouldn't affect them. Now, here's something else that's going to be interesting in the case. What if they get convicted? And I'm not saying they should be convicted, but I've talked to a lot of people who are like, hey, come on, they're responsible for this. I don't know. It can be a real tough jury question. And either today or next time I'm going to read you part of the jury instructions. The reason I'm going to do that is because a lot of times after jury comes back with a verdict, people go, hey, how could the jury do that? What's wrong with them? Are they crazy? How could they find them guilty or not guilty, whichever the side your fence are on? A lot of people that make those comments that, number one, haven't watched the jury or don't know what instructions there were, really don't know what they're talking about because they're doing it off emotion and what they've read in the newspaper. So I'm going to try and educate you a little better by reading you a couple of the instructions that will be read to the jurors. But another concern of mine, like I say, is what if they get convicted? Remember, there was a 3-year deal and a 9-year deal. And the families came in front of another judge at a sentencing hearing and said, that's not enough. 36 people died. 9 years and 3 years. We're upset. We don't want it. The judge in that court set aside that plea bargain and said, I'm not going to accept it. I'm setting it aside. Okay. I like this judge. I think he's a great judge. In a sense, I think he did the right thing. You had people that were upset, so put it to trial. There are a couple of things I wonder. One, the DA went along with that agreement, saying the case was worth 3 and 9 years. So what are they going to be able to argue if these guys get convicted? They should get more. It's sort of like that, hey, you're changing your mind before. You said 3 and 9. Why should they get more now? Because the families got upset about it, and I understand why they did. But how can you then come in and say, well, we think it's worth more now because we had to go to a jury trial? Well, I don't know. But the thing that concerns me is the judge that has to sentence, if they get convicted, is the trial judge. And she's got to know, whoa, wait a minute, there was a 3 and a 9. They're upset, so they're going to want more than 3 and 9, right? They're going to want more. How much more? And then even though, and I love this judge, I think she's great, you got to think subconsciously she's going to be thinking about Brock Turner and the Persky, what I call the Persky effect over at Stanford. Remember the swimmer that got 6 months in state prison or 6 months in jail, and everybody went crazy. That professor who's not even a lawyer at Stanford Law School went up in arms and led a charge and got Persky thrown off the bench. You know, I hate that case. I hate what happened there because it was just simply wrong, because it affected the bench, put a chilling effect on the bench, and this judge has now got to figure, oh my God, if I give 3 or 8 years or less, are they going to come after me? Now, I know she's a great judge and she's going to put that aside as best she can, but damn, she's human. I don't know. So if they get convicted, I guarantee you they're going to get more than 3 and 9 years. All right, let me save for next time the involuntary manslaughter instructions. We'll be talking. Remember, all it takes in life is all you got.